Space is brought to you by The Authorslins, the premier literary magazine where you can be a part of it. Learn more at theauthorslins.com. Senior Living Today, home of the Living Legacy Planner, a way to help seniors live more independently and get ready for the final times ahead. Carter Elite Travel, let Luna Carter put together the best travel package for your destination. Welcome to this week's Mental Health Monday. I'm not a doctor, but I am an author who's been and seen a few things and just trying to help. I'm Basic Campbell. Here we go. Carter Elite Travel, Senior Living Today, and the Authors Inn provide our sponsorships as usual. This is a bonus gripe, and for this bonus gripe, I want to talk about the invisible and sometimes silent partner in our romantic relationships. Are you currently in a relationship where you feel as if your words don't mean nothing, or you're undervalued or ignored? And before we get into it, it happens to men and women. Sometimes when it happens to men, it gets ignored because we're supposed to be the most strong. But in the same, it happens on both sides. Depending on the relationship, we're going to explore a few certain scenarios as well as reasons. A lot of times, the invisible person works the hardest in a relationship and always ends up getting the worst treatment. So they're always the one who's trying to make sure the bills are paid. They're the ones who's always trying to make sure the house is right. They're always trying to make sure, and not saying that the other partner doesn't. Everyone does the equal share, but he seems to want to make sure he or she wants to try, are the ones that are trying to make and keep the peace. Because a lot of times it's not always peaceful. A lot of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. The silent partner has to remain strong because they have to be. Because you have a significant other that's always trying to bring you down, or always have attitude, or always doing something that's taken away from the peace in the house. And look, I'll give you a few examples. I mean, someone who's always angry, you can't wake up and be happy just once. There's always something wrong when you wake up, or you just have to find a reason to be angry in the morning. Even though God wakes you up every single day, there's a problem. I mean, and there's other obvious issues that bother you, and your partner views them as insignificant, even though you know that they're they're causing you stress, they're causing you health problems, they're causing a whole lot of things. And it's not always cheating or abuse or any of the usual suspects. A lot of times it's the flex, the way they talk to you, it's the way they carry themselves around you, it's the way they talk to their friends. It can be a million things. It can be certain habits that they have that not healthy. It's just a lot of things that can cause this that will allow your partner to want to turn left away from you. Then there's the sleep factor. And this is only in some relationships. A lot of times you don't sleep much because you have a narcissistic partner because who finds ways of waking you up throughout the night because there's a problem. They can't sleep and see, a lot of people think that's funny. That's not really funny because not sleeping right can also affect your health. And they don't realize that. And then when you do have health problems, they don't even look at themselves as causing you the health problem. All they see is, well, I've got them up, so I'm just gonna do what I gotta do. There are times you don't get too many personal activities. Because despite you doing your part in the household, your partner will always find a way to monopolize your time. In the last Mental Health Monday, actually this Monday, I discussed how folks who stretch you out about things you want to do, and no one can do it more than controlling significant other. I mean, they're the main ones that can sit up here and control what you do, how you do it, your free time, no matter what it is. It can be a side grind, it can be reading, it can be just going outside spending time with the kids. I mean, your time gets monopolized to the point where your hobbies, your hopes, your dreams becomes property of the significant other. Once they become property of the significant other, a lot of times they become null and void. And like I say, don't protest. Please do not protest because they're going to make you feel guilty. They're going to turn the conversation back on you. They're going to gaslight you into thinking you hurt their feelings. They're going to make you think that you're the bad guy. They're going to try to make you think that, oh, so I'm this, oh, so I'm that. Well, what about you? Blah, blah, blah. So sometimes, even though communication is key, you have to communicate with someone who's willing to communicate back with you, not someone who dismisses your feelings, ignores your feelings, or may actually acknowledge you today, but 3 days later, they act as if the conversation never existed because they're back to their old behaviors. Conversations are definitely key, but to a partner that's not empathetic, it's not going to work. You need a partner that's going to put themselves in your shoes as you put yourself in theirs. That's what empathy is all about. If they're not willing to put themselves in your shoes, even if they remotely see, that's the problem. One of my biggest issues are people who can't see the timeline for the trees. What I mean by that, if you piss me off on Monday, and you know you pissed me off on Monday, and I'm still pissed off on Thursday, and you acting like I'm being silly or petty for no reason, or this is all of a sudden, you're not even you're not even empathetic enough to trace back to find out. Well, trying to figure out what I did. That thing on Monday, see, lots of significant others like that, their ego is so strange. They're not even willing to go back to see, well, maybe it's me. Maybe we should have a conversation. If the conversations don't work between you two, that's when you do a trained professional, a counselor, a therapist, things like that. But even then, you two have to be openly honest with each other. A counselor or therapist can help, but if the significant other is going to do the same thing to the therapist that they're going to do at home, then the relationship is lost. The problem is like an open wound or an untreated illness. If you continue to leave it untreated, it's going to fester, it's going to grow, it's going to blow up out of control until it consumes you. It can fester into arguments and over time lead to saying and doing things you might not be able to come back from. So you got to be honest with yourselves. And I'm talking about on both sides. While the other person may not put their hands on you and verbally abuse you, narcissism is also a form of abuse. But you can't allow yourself to always be the bigger person either. But a lot of people don't know is, and they don't understand, that's why it's not going to all of a sudden be quiet. They're withdrawn. They don't speak to you like they normally do. Because sometimes folks get tired of arguing as well. And arguing gets old. And again, I'm not a doctor by go, but I know what I've been through. I've been through relationships like that, to where I'm not going to speak to you until we resolve some things. I'm not going to speak to you until we come, and I'm not talking about just seeing my side, at least a compromise. It's not about one side versus the other side, it's about compromise. But when the one side doesn't want to compromise, that becomes the problem. Again, it's not always about cheating or abuse or anything like that. It could just be the fact that either A, you two don't belong together because you two are just totally two opposite people, or B, your partner is going to have to learn either to be respectful, see your partner's feelings, work with your partner, or it's a wrap. But that's it for Bonus Mental Health Monday. I'm AC Campbell, signing off.